Welcome to Apple Teeny, where foldable iPhones and productivity drama somehow share a stage. A pocket iPad that might become a creator machine, and a calendar app born from missing a meeting. Honestly, both stories are really about one thing: software either saving your life or ruining your afternoon. The most convincing pitch for a foldable iPhone is not futuristic magic. It's pretty simple. Closed, it's a normal one-hand phone. Open, it's basically a small iPad. That bigger, roughly 4:3 screen starts making sense fast if you're reading, digging through research, playing older games, maybe even doing a little coding or light work. And Apple showing up late here might actually be the smart move. Other companies already spent years doing the awkward first dates with foldables, figuring out durability and making the crease less offensive. The obvious danger is the price, because if this thing lands in the realm of you could also buy a laptop, that gets weird very quickly. My big skepticism is behavioral, not technical. People say they want more screen, but do they actually open the thing 10 times a day, every day? A lot of expensive foldables seem destined for the same fate as a lot of iPads. In theory, productivity. In practice, video machine. And the software details matter a lot more than the hardware flex. If the keyboard eats half the screen, if the interface gets cramped, if multitasking is clumsy, the whole productivity story collapses. The interesting middle ground would be Apple bringing back a clean iPad-style split view, not dumping full desktop window chaos onto a tiny folding display. Now the fun angle, and honestly maybe the best one, is treating this thing like an all-in-one creator studio. Shoot on a strong main camera, keep a decent ultrawide, have a selfie cam ready, then open the phone and edit right there for vertical video. That is extremely legible as a product story. If you've got Final Cut Camera or Blackmagic Camera for capture, plus Final Cut Pro and Pixelmator Pro on the device, short-form creators could film, trim, title, and publish in 15 to 20 minutes. That is a very different Apple from the old Final Cut era, where the emotional center of gravity was Hollywood. This version feels much more focused on the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok universe. And bundling some kind of creator studio subscription with the foldable would be a pretty sharp move. It gives established creators a reason to show it off, and it tempts aspiring creators who already have channels but haven't built the habit. The other story here is Parchment, which was created after Chris missed an important meeting because all-day events buried the time stuff. That is the kind of boring software problem that instantly becomes deeply personal the second it wrecks your day. Parchment's whole idea is that a meeting at 2 p.m. and a flexible task like send invoices today are not the same kind of obligation, so they should stop fighting in one messy list. It sits on top of Apple reminders and calendar through EventKit, which I think is the sane move. It isn't trying to replace your whole life system, it's trying to make today make sense. And one detail I really like is manual ordering for all-day tasks, because no human beings do not actually decide what to do next by alphabetical order like emotionally unstable robots. Parchment became Chris's first daily opening point on Mac, iPad, and iPhone, and it shot to number 1 among paid productivity apps, then as high as number 4 in all paid apps shortly after launch. The timeline is kind of wild. Wednesday release, Thursday YouTube video, and suddenly the thing is moving. That's the independent creator advantage in one clean snapshot. If you already have an audience, your channel is not just content, it's distribution, marketing, trust, and a live product demo all at once. Also, the point about developers explaining their own apps is dead, right? Nobody knows the weird little workflows and edge cases better than the person who built it. Of course, success immediately creates homework, more than 60 feature requests, piles of support messages, and now you have the classic problem of people loving your app in slightly incompatible ways. That tension is real, users want more, but the whole appeal might be that the app stays simple and useful to the person making it. Chris has already pulled time away from managing YouTube sponsorship so he can actually build, and he's using templates, Spark, and Codex to triage the inbox flood, spam, app pitches, and test flight messages. That feels like the honest version of indie development that people romanticize right up until the support queue arrives. The AI part of this conversation is refreshingly normal. Use agentic tools for the repetitive, annoying internal stuff first. Summarize test flight emails, sort pitches, generate subtitles, clean up admin work. Great! That keeps a one-person business from turning into a one-person call center. But there is a hard boundary around taste and editorial judgment. Chris does not want AI deciding how his videos get cut, how his photography gets treated, or making the choices that define the work. And I think that's the right line. The issue isn't some grand abstract fight between creative and non-creative software. It's whether the machine is doing mechanical execution or replacing your judgment. Also, very real warning here, you can absolutely waste your whole week playing with AI workflows instead of finishing anything that matters. So that's the mood today. A foldable iPhone that only works if the software earns it, and an indie app proving boring problems are sometimes the best products. Thanks for hanging out with Appletini. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.